the captain now. I've commandeered the ship and today I am sailing. We've got the spinnaker up. We're doing 7.5 knots at the moment in 10 apparent. We've got up to 9 before in 13 apparent. And we can happily say that this year we love our pink bits.
So we're pushing off to St. Bees today, and then we'll go on to Airlie Beach. But we're doing something a little different today. Today the boss is taking the captaincy.
I am the captain now.
For the first time. She's going to do it from the start. If I need to take a shift in the middle like she does for me, that's fine. But she's going to, like, I'll pull the anchor up. She'll drive up on the anchor, put us in the right direction and tell me what sail she wants to use. So more of a safety thing than anything else. Like if anything happens to me, it's good that Holly will be able to handle the boat by herself with the help of the kids or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
Super exciting.
We'll, keep you
nice rest day.
The trip.
It's good I woke up. My new Garmin dive watch told me I've got 19% battery. Didn't get much sleep last night.
No, so I'm probably about the same, but
it was very
don't have a watch
rocky
to tell
and
me.
rolly.
Rocky, rolly, bangy, noisy, creaky.
Right. Hopefully tonight's better.
We'll just both take a turn at a day nap today.
Yeah.
Peace
See you
out,
there.
guys. I press the start button once quickly to do the...
To glow it?
Glow?
You're good.
Tell me where the anchor is. Ha.
Righto. Time to lift the anchor. So the anchor's up.
Yep.
All went well.
Yep. It's funny though, because when we very first started, I used to do the helm for the anchor until last time when we left the Perseus the first time in that horrible, horrible bouncy rocky swell with like 50 boats in the anchorage at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was really hard, and after that I didn't want to do it ever again. But it's yeah, it went well. I've got myself on a nice heading towards our line, so it should be 10.5 hours from here. We'll follow that black line basically all the way up and through to Keswick. Pick up a mooring buoy and possibly chill for a couple of days.
How good.
Same. Right, well I guess I put an audio book in and I'll watch the helm. Last year, we hated it. We hated her, she was horrible, but UK Sails down in Brisbane near Debra has repaired her and done us a new sock, and it is spectacular and she's working great.
It's our favourite sail, but we're just a little bit worried that it'll be the main sail we'll use in Indonesia, and she's old. Like she's
old and saggy.
She's stretched and like holding together fine, but we're worried about getting all the way there and losing her, like blowing her up or whatever. So we are considering getting another spinnaker made for when this one goes. Plus, Pink Bits, I believe, is a little bit small for our boat. That's what everyone keeps telling us. So, and we see all these amazing boats coming past with their big parasailers, and they just dwarf the boat. So
we can't afford a parasail.
We're not buying a parasail. They're like 15 grand. We're not doing that. But we might look into, you know, getting another spinnaker. So
especially because we have no spare sails, whereas most people travel with at least one spare, I think.
Well, you know, we've got our Genoa, mainsail, and then spinnaker. That's it. So we'll we'll look at probably getting another one. But yeah, she's doing well so far.
Woo! Loving it. Now the deckie's gonna make me some toast.
I get back to the galley.
are you guys up to?
Just playing a bit of Monopoly. I reckon Dad's winning.
Ooh, shizzle. Maybe.
Ad's his banker. It's a bit of a schooling lesson, doing some maths and strategic planning.
Yes.
Great.
I'll get back to my seat at the helm. I have been captain for about 4 hours now, or 4.5. Up to the left, we have some very large ships anchored. And so I am going around them a little bit because then we'll be behind them heading forward towards the Cumberlands. We are pulling into the channel between St. Bees and Keswick Island. So there are 4 public mooring buoys over here. After a very rolling night, we've got spring tides at the moment, so they're between like 0.9 and 5.7. So basically, as the tide comes up, it's just become really rocky and rolly and gross. So we thought we might avoid that. Sometimes it's really nice to just pick up a mooring buoy, but we're at low tide, so we can drive through the channel. And on the northern side of St. Bees, there's a fairly good anchorage marked on Zulu waterways. So I'll show you the channel we're going through, and we will show you when we anchor. Looks like a nice little stopover. You can see the swell rolling in. It's not huge, but as the tide rises, it is likely to get more rolly, and we haven't had a flat anchorage in a while. So we're hoping to find something more comfortable on the other side of the island. I don't know if you can see, but there's 3 houses up here. One is like surround views, like double the size of the other 2, with this little airstrip here. There are a number of residents with 99-year leaseholds on the island. However, there is a lack of resources for these residents, with ferries only twice weekly to Mackay and a once monthly barge for food and supplies. It is expected that the major leasehold will change hands this year, with residents hopeful the facilities promised for years will finally commence construction.
So Pants, your first ever sail. I dropped the anchor, but apart from that, and maybe about 45 minutes, I took some watch on the way in through this channel. Yep. Everything else you did? Yep.
From 6 a.m. until about probably 2 o'clock, 2:30.
How do you feel?
I was the captain. Yeah, good. Tired. Tired and hungry for treats.
As long as she doesn't get hangry, we're good.
I think I'm just hungry for treats because it's just, I'm always hungry for treats. But now it's pretty good. The wind, you know, flooded a little bit with the spinnaker up for the first several hours, and I sort of just did a mixture of mild trimming and zigzagging the boat gently, just because, you know, no point changing the spinnaker constantly when we can just do a slightly tacking, slightly wobbly line.
Would have been here 6 hours ago.
It was a tiny bit of just flirting with my straight line.
Yeah, it was good. We were like averaging, I mean, we were surfing some waves, but
I'd say we averaged 8 over an average, 8 probably the whole day, if not 8 to 9.
Yeah, I'd say 9 to 10 because we were like on our slow down the back of a wave, we were doing 8, 8.5, and then going hard, we were doing up to 12. So then the wind got up to 18 knots with the spinnaker up, and
14.
It was 18 knots apparent when I looked at it.
For that 5 minutes, and then we had to blow it.
Yeah, so.
And then it dropped back down to like 13 apparent again. Yeah. And we're like, ugh.
Yeah, but that's not worth risking it when she already looks like she's only just hanging on. Yes, and we were still able to sail at like 6, 7 knots the rest of the way with the Genoa anyway. So it got really quite lumpy. So the waves got so big behind us that we were just starting to surf them a bit too much. Yeah, I wouldn't say dangerously or out of control, but you know, like the autopilot wasn't really keeping up. It was starting to, you know, veer off and oversteer a little bit. The boat really does track beautifully down a wave, but when the autopilot's trying to overcorrect things, it just steers it too much. So yeah, it's good to slow the boat up that little bit and just cruise a bit more. Yeah, it's not a roller coaster. No, but it's good. I started watching a bit of a movie towards the end, so I'm gonna watch the rest of my movie and relax and
see what first mate's making us for dinner.
No. I am the captain now. I just put the anchor down. If we were on anchor, I'd be giving the boat a watch. I can.
Oh, yeah. The ocean looks so sequent right now.
No, it doesn't.
You're not impressed, fans.
I'm not impressed.
She's got a migraine. I pulled up anchor to try and find us a better spot, which could be the case, but
I agreed on pulling up anchor.
the trip there's been pretty crappy.
Rolling, but it's been a really icky trip and it's like pouring down.
Bucketing down.
It literally just had a blue sky come completely over us, and then
It's just squally, that's all. We had the spinnaker up, we were loving life for about 5 minutes. And then the squalls came through. We had 20 knots apparent, flying at 9-10 knots. But
and
then,
yeah, every now and then a stab comes through my head and I'm like, ugh. So, fun. Been in a rocky rolly ocean with a vomiting migraine. I haven't spewed yet, but it's, yeah, very rare that I don't, so. Fun times. We'll let you know when we get to our next magic destination.
saillife.
Oh, Ads, was that a bit hectic?
Yep.
27 apparent. Did you narrow up?
No, I'm not.
Very squally today.
Look at that.
Squally.
Very. And I think this is this the anchorage? This side? Mom, is this the anchorage? Yep.
We made it. We made it to Brampton Island.
Are we at St. Beach?
And the sun has come out just for our dropping of anchor. There is a deserted resort on this island. There used to be a jetty, but it got destroyed by a cyclone back in 2016. What we'll do is we might have some lunch, we'll drop the tender and have a little bit of a explore. The island is separated by a channel, so we'll check that out. We're at high tide, but it looks quite pretty. So I'm glad we've moved. It's a lot calmer. It's a bit windy, but we've got a front ways bounce, not like a sideways rolly bounce, and my headache is dissipating.
That pool would have been so awesome to like swim in during the day.
We're at Brampton Island. We've just pulled up to a little cove and we're going to have a little walk around and see what's here. And help the kid get his shoe on. Oh, if the sun was out, it would be just magic.
I don't think we should walk that way, but why not?
This is the old runway. Like a supermodel down the runway.
There you go. That's it. This little spot. I wonder if that's fresh.
Don't know.
Can we check it out?
Oh, we're allowed to walk this way now.
Shut up. Well, I'm walking this side so he doesn't see us.
After a quick sneak onto the airstrip, we head back to explore the shoreline as the tide goes out. Ads, are you walking us out or what?
No, it's all you, fat. Have you got it?
Oh!
Stingray right there. A couple of them. Big family.
It's a bit blowy out here and the clarity's pretty bad, so we're not really snorkeling or going in the water much, but we thought we'd go for a little mission. So we are on the eastern island of Brampton Island, and I can see a sign up ahead, so we'll see what the sign says. On the internet it said you could camp here, but I'm not sure about that. And then behind me is the old abandoned resort island, and it's low tide, so we can walk across. Apologies, Brampton Islands National Parks are the two islands, but technically this island is Carlisle Island. And the sign says no camping, so this obviously is the one you cannot camp at. Are you loving our little adventure ads?
Yeah.
Lucky? Yeah? Right, let's go to the left, it'll be a bit shallower.
I think right better than eco. Holy jeez, that current.
I actually think our best bet, Lucky, is that way. So we have to do a little weird sand bridge walk, because over there it's actually quite deep, but you can see along this edge where the waves are breaking. There's like a sand footpath. Look, there's a very sexy tender, but no, I'm quite happy with my sand bridge walk. Get in the shallow area, please. Come on. Now he's ditching me. Right, Lucky, it's just you and me. Just you and me. What? No, you didn't. What? Are you liking the adventure, Lucky? It beats sitting on the boat, doesn't it?
What?
I said this beats sitting on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some of the resort facilities. It's so sad that places like this end up abandoned and derelict. So this island was bought with the resort in 2010. But they literally shut it down 1 year later, so it wasn't even the cyclones that closed it down, but the cyclones obviously destroyed it in 2016, and it's just been sitting here. So, a bit sad. I can imagine a lot of the vandalism and damage was done in the early years after the cyclone, but it would have been a magic place to visit. My assumption would be that would have been the main restaurant area. And this swimming pool on the edge of the water would have been so cool. What a beautiful place. Our chariot awaits in this rather shallow area. Just missed the caretaker. He's been chatting to a couple of yachties. I wanted to go up and say hello, but I didn't want to intrude. And he's just come out as I've gone to walk back, so I don't get to know the full story of how he got his job and what he does. Would have been cool.
So we have pushed off this morning from Brampton Island. We are heading towards Early Beach.
Yes.
How's your sail?
Beautiful. It was a bit like quite rocky this morning, but we are now set at sailing to wind, and we're going between 6 knots to 10 knots with the waves.
Bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, but it's actually pretty calm.
We were just chatting before. We're really starting to get more comfortable with the boat's abilities. You know, like when you're surfing down a wave at 10 knots and we're not running dead with them, so it does run a little to the left, just the way the winds are at the moment and the way the seas are pushing us, but it's you know,
11.3 knots.
it's just super comfortable. Like when we did this trip last season, we weren't scared, but it was like we were on guard the whole time.
Yeah.
And we still are. Like we're never going to be complacent, but we're just more comfortable with the boat and its abilities and sea states, I guess. What we were saying is 5 meters. Realistically, it was probably a 2.5 meter wave, but we were looking at the full wave, whereas they call it 2.5 meters from water level to the top of the wave.
Yeah, so it was still like a good 5 meter trough, and that day was really rough. Dan keeps thinking and saying like, this is like that day at Scorfell, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Oh, we did get moments of
we had a couple of moments the other day where it was like that, but not for 11 hours.
So it was just like the day at Scorfell for those moments.
But not for 11 hours straight like it was.
No.
But I think the anxiety just isn't there that this year so much. It's funny, having that 3 months off during my injury and my surgery and recovery, I thought it would make me back to being like just as anxious as I was last year when we started. But I think being back on land and having more access to the news and stories, I feel like I'm still like less scared on the boat now than being in like the real world.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having that break was a good thing, because instead of just keeping on elevating, we got to just wipe clean. Editing the videos shows us what we've been through before, and we're better prepared now when we are a bit calmer. And yeah, it's actually been much more enjoyable.
Yeah. No, it's been good. I've learned how to talk to Holly and the kids when in stressful situations on the boat. That took me a little bit of getting used to, and unfortunately that impacted the family a little bit. But I'm happy to put my hand up and say that I was not doing a great job, but we're trying to turn that around this season. So, you know, just being more comfortable, and I wouldn't say we know how to sail yet, but we know the basics well enough now that, and we've got our systems in place for getting sails up and down and things like that. The spinnaker was definitely 90% of our arguments, and we've since found with the new spinnaker, with the new sock, I know we keep mentioning it, but it really has changed our boat life, because like getting it up and down, which we've done several times a day for the last 2 weeks heading north, it's just been a breeze. We know exactly what to do, and
we've used the spinnaker more than any other sail. And we're coming into Early Beach today. This time last year we'd been on the water for 6 weeks, I think, by the time we got to Early Beach, whereas we've only been on the water for less than about 21 days. So 3 weeks we've been on the water. We've like doubled the distance we had this time last year, and pretty much most of the way we've used the spinnaker. So
has it been 3 weeks we've been on the water?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like that.
No. Peace out, guys. We'll
see you in Early Beach. We're back, baby.
Back in Early Beach. It's been a pretty awesome trip so far. And yeah, we're super excited to be back here. It's pretty calm considering the southeasterlies. We're going to anchor up, see a friend tomorrow. Then we will do a big shop on Monday, try and grab the last of the main bits and pieces we haven't found on the way or didn't get before we left. And then we'll hightail it up past Townsville.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Woo!